We're connected? Great. Well, it's now 12 o'clock, and I want to welcome everyone to our webinar, Facebook Promotions. I'm Kim Rush Lynch, and I'm actually an Ag Marketing Specialist with University of Maryland Extension in Prince George's County, and I'll be working with Michelle to facilitate this session. Throughout the presentation, we'll be using the chat pod for questions, which is in the lower right-hand corner. Please use that rather than the Q&A. And also use the arrow key to select all participants and type your question in, and the presenter will answer your questions as soon as they are able to, and I'll be helping Michelle with that process. Before we begin, we'd like to thank our sponsors and collaborators that are listed on the right-hand side of the slide that you see, and also remind you of our upcoming webinar. Next up, we have Stress Management on the Farm on July 11th, and actually I'll be doing that one, so I'll see you guys again very soon. As a reminder, our presentation will be recorded today, and an email will be sent directly to you with the link to the archived presentation and any materials presented. Please feel free to share this email with your colleagues and your networks. Our complete collection of archived webinars can be found on our website at the address listed in blue, and I will definitely put that on there for you today in the chat box. And now I would like to turn the presentation over to Ms. Michelle Walford, the Communications Specialist with University of Delaware Extension. Thank you, Michelle.
Hello everybody. Welcome. Greetings from Georgetown, Delaware, where I am working at an ag experimental station. And so I've been with Extension since 2001. Started out as a 4-H receptionist, went back to college, got my associate's degree, then my bachelor's degree, and then my master's degree, all in the communications arts. So journalism originally. Got into digital humanities. 2014, I also graduated from good communication skills, Michelle, from the University of Delaware Strategic Social Media course, which was a 16-week course just immersed in social media practices. And then I was an e-extension fellow for the Northeast region, particularly studying social media good practices for cooperative extension. I see a lot of you are in extension, so I kind of get where you're coming from there. I don't have all the answers. I'm just going to share with you what has worked for us. There's lots of varying opinions about how to use Facebook effectively. And so I'm going to turn off my camera and share my screen. And again, I just want to shout out all these sponsors. Please let them know that you appreciate their sponsorship. I've been doing this since I think I did the first webinar actually. So my colleague Christy Mannering and I have done more or less the social media and tech type topics because that's our wheelhouse. So again, thanks to everybody who makes this happen. And I thought about what I'm going to do here. So I'm giving you my contact information first. I will tell you that please feel free to email me and say, hey, because we have Zoom, which works like WebEx. If you would like to have a 15-minute session one-on-one where, hey, am I doing this right, or what do you think of this, I would be glad to do that because my job isn't just working for the University of Delaware. It's helping farmers and ag-related businesses and people in agriculture do better. And if I can offer some advice, there's no charge for that. Please feel free to look me up or hit me up for some help, saying you can take it or leave it. So why do we want to promote on Facebook? Well, first of all, it is the largest. I think it's up to 8 billion people are on it. It's almost like China. Just if it were a nation, it would possibly be bigger than China. But the bottom line is that only 3 to 5% of your page fans, the people who've gone on and liked your page, actually see any of your posts. So if for instance, Extension say it has 1,000 likes, I'd be lucky if I get 30 people or 300 people see it out of that. Well, that would be 10%. So 30 people out of 1,000 will even see what we're posting. And so that's kind of frustrating. It is very frustrating. And you'll hear about algorithms and what they are. Facebook actually looks at what you're doing. They're not actually looking at you per se, but what they are doing is they are paying attention to your behavior. So Facebook knows that I like cat videos and that I like animal rescue videos. They know that I will usually pass over a political post. They know that I like my local paper, Cape Gazette. And why do they know I like that? Because I usually will comment, or I like, or I share content. And then Facebook goes, okay, Michelle is interested in those things. Yes, she's liked, you know, XYZ Orchard, but when we put that on her news feed, she's not really interacting with it very much. So then they show me less. And they're actually doing this with your friends list as well. And of course, you can hide people and see less of people, but they're really tracking your behavior, and that's kind of disconcerting to some people, but that develops the algorithm. They've really refined who they think you are and what they think you want to see. And so in order to change that, you either have to reach those people that maybe like you but just haven't interacted with you, you have to deliver an ad. And this is the whole hard, cold truth. Now, here, this is a screenshot of our 4-H page. At the time, I think we had 1,500 likes on it. We're up to like 2,000 now. But at the time, we had 1,000 likes. And then you could see when anytime we post something, 113 people out of that 1,500. So that's pretty low, 63. The engagement was even less. So you need to know and look at your stats and how your page is performing. And then if you boost something, then you can see it jumps way up. There's 1,300 people took a look at that. So Facebook ads are very inexpensive compared to print ads. Typical photo 4x6 print ad can cost anywhere from $200 in black and white to up to $400 in color. So it's not inexpensive to place an ad. So for $20, you can get almost as much reach. You also will receive very specific data on who viewed your ad and your content, and that becomes very valuable, knowing whether or not you should repeat or whether you're reaching or whether you're getting a return on your investment. And overall, you will gain more page likes if you advertise. And for extension, for those of you who are working in extension, this checks a big box. We are making the effort to reach making all reasonable efforts to reach new audiences. And when the 1964 Civil Rights legislation passed, social media wasn't part of that, but it is now, so it becomes very reasonable to try and use social media to contact our potential clientele. There's several ways that you can promote your content on Facebook. You can create ads through the ad manager, which is called a newsfeed ad. And for us, because Delaware is small, we don't normally do that. If you have an online business and you're trying to push content out across local boundaries, if you've got some kind of a retail operation, if you're a national brand, you definitely want to go through the ads manager, and I'll show you what that looks like. They guide you through step by step. Hey, what do you want to do? How many people do you want to reach? What target audience do you want? How much do you want to spend? How long do you want it to last? So they'll walk you through all that. You can also do a regular page ad. This would be an introduction ad. They're commonly found, and they are found on the right side, so it's a right column ad. And it's just usually a little rectangle box saying, hey, you know, Cooperative Extension, here we are, this is what we do. It's usually done as an introduction. The main purpose of a page ad is to get people to visit your page and like your page, and then possibly hear future content. You can also boost your post, and some people say you never should do that. We do it all the time in Extension 1. It's inexpensive. 2, it's local. So it's taking a post that's already up that we kind of waited to see what kind of organic reach we got, and then we decide to boost it. You can also create an event. An event is different than a page boost, and it's basically to announce an event. Hey, we're having this open house, we're having this workshop. We want you to come. Then you can have organic promotions. And this is when your audience does your work for you. And Facebook will say the reason because of our algorithms, we want to give you the experience you want. We want you to not see junk and not see straight out pitches. You're telling us what you like, we want to give it to you. So as a page owner or as a page manager, then you must give people content that they're going to become engaged with. So engagement is key. It isn't just, hey, this is on sale, buy this, we're doing this, we won this award, aren't we great, look at us, la 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 la. There's part of that you want to do, but there's another part is you want your audience to talk back to you. You want them to react to what you're posting, and that's called engagement. And you can be very strategic about getting that. So this is an example. I just took a screenshot today. So this is my news feed over on the left, and on the right are some sponsored ads. Why they think I want Blue Bunny ice cream, I don't know, but they probably have figured out that I'm interested in that. I will say I'm 60 plus years old. I get teeth whitening ads, things like that. So it knows from where I've traveled and where I visited. It will target me because Facebook will put cookies on your account. So even when I close out of Facebook and I go over to Amazon, I'm looking at camera equipment, I might see camera ads as a result the next time I come on. So it's constantly watching you. That unnerves some people, but it is what it is. This is an example. I just wanted to show you a screenshot. If you go into the Ad Manager infrastructure, it will ask you what's your objective, what kind of audience do you want, what kind of budget, what do you want to do here, and it will actually walk you through that. I don't use this, but certainly if you're looking for a more expansive reach, and again, if you definitely have an online presence or retail, this might be something you want to do. This woman here, this has come from HubSpot. HubSpot is, and I'll play this.
If you have a Facebook business page, you've probably seen the little blue button suggesting you boost a post. Don't touch it.
I'm going to disagree there, but
you're tempted. With that button, Facebook allows you to advertise content with just 2 clicks. And considering how confusing Facebook advertising can be, it may seem like a quick win, but I promise it's not the best use of your money. Instead, promote your posts in the Ad Manager. It may take a few extra minutes, but it'll give you more control over who sees your ad and the cost effectiveness of your spend. Go to the drop-down menu in the top right corner of your page and look for Create Ads. Pick the objective of your campaign. This should depend on the ideal action you want people to take when they see your post. If you promote a blog post, for instance, optimize for traffic. Pick the location, age group, and gender you want to advertise to. Use detailed targeting to specify pages they've liked, interests, or even what company they work for. A great idea for B2B advertisers. Then, set your budget, whether that's a daily budget or the maximum spend for the ad. Finally, flip over to the Use Existing Post tab. There you can choose a post you've already published, place your order, and you're done. Word to the wise, not every post is worth your money. Look to the Post tab in Page Insights to see which are already receiving above average engagement from your fans. Those are great candidates to boost with your budget. As you get the hang of Facebook advertising, you'll start to understand which content works well for paid. Plan the featured images of those posts ahead of time. You won't be able to promote any that have more than 20% text. I know, Facebook is making it harder and harder for pages to have their content seen in the news feed. Don't be discouraged, and definitely don't let Facebook tempt you with that boost button. Promote your posts the right way, and always keep your goal in mind.
All right, I'm going to stop it there. The 20% text rule is a thing, and it's why we don't use the Ad Manager, because the boosting your post lets you get around that a little bit. But she's really talking to a national audience, business to business. Again, we do boost our posts and we boost events, but I just wanted to show you that as an option so you can investigate that Ad Manager. It seems to be like it's pretty easier. The advantages to boosting a post, it's much easier if your target audience is local. It allows you to use a little more text in the post and allows you to use more text in the ad image itself. Not that you should, but you can. And also allows you to share to local groups that you belong to, which is something that we'll discuss in a minute. So a newsfeed ad or a boosted post, it needs to be visually compelling. Your audiences will see it, but you want them to engage with it. So sometimes you will see people saying, hey, caption this. I don't know why you would pay somebody to caption something. That wouldn't be what I would post as an ad. But you see people asking questions like that on their normal organic posts because they want to get the engagement. Video ads, there's 8 billion videos are watched on Facebook every day. So each person, and I'm sort of addicted to them. Once I start, I can't stop, so they just keep coming. Square works best, and this is not going to be a workshop, and if anybody's interested on how to create videos on your smartphone devices, we could do a session on that. But Square does work best because Facebook is shifting into mobile. And then this is a link that you can click. This would be the Facebook ad requirements, and it actually, I think I did a screenshot. Yep. So here's one. It gives you the recommendations. So Facebook will really give you a lot of information on, can't be longer than this, it can't be shorter than this, it can't be bigger than this. This is what we're looking for if you want your ad to be successful with video. Who is your audience? Well, everybody, you know, but you can't just create ads for everybody. You really want to think about who do you want to target. In extension, what I do, a lot of people, as you'll see, I'll show you with my screenshots, we've captured the older women market. Women who are 60, 70 years old, they know who we are. I already have them. We're not getting the young people, and the young people are going to be the future. They're going to be the ones that are going, if extension is to continue on, we've got to reach them and tell them what the value of extension is in their lives. So I might want to create an ad that specifically targets 15, 16-year-olds or maybe college students. We don't get enough men, so I might do another ad that maybe has some guy stuff in it, more tools and tractors and things like that. And I don't mean to be stereotyping here, but you can't just say, well, I'm just going to create an ad and put it out there and have it hit everybody. Not everybody's going to react to it. So you do need to be a little bit strategic. And we're talking here about $10 at a time, $20 at a time, so we're not breaking the bank. But this would be the time to experiment. And maybe if you're promoting 4-H, for example, do you want to have an older person talking about how great 4-H is, or would you like to have a 15-year-old or two 15-year-olds on camera saying how great 4-H is? That would be the video that I would want to target then to that peer group. And maybe do another ad that targets parents. Hey, here's why your child should be in 4-H. So you really need to break down your audience, and you need to know who they are now. Do you know who your audience is on Facebook? And this is one of the things you want to do is you want to go up to your statistics and take a look. And this is extensions. And we have 77% are women. And here's their age groups. So we're losing out on the younger people, and we're losing out on really, really old people. So I was exaggerating a little bit. We're doing really well with what is called the 35 to 44, the 25. This here is what's known as the Oprah Winfrey audience demographic. So these are the people that watch that type of show. They're socially mobile on social media and active. And so we're doing okay with them. But look at the men. We're not getting the fair share we do. And yet cooperative extension is all about farming, and we know that women are 30% of farming, but 70% of men are farming or in agricultural business, and we're not reaching them. So that tells me if I'm going to do an ad, I might want to target something that a man might respond to, and I'll have some cool statistics to show you. So who do you boost to? You can boost to your page followers. These will be defaults, and I was going to actually go live and show you. I have an ad ready to boost, so I thought I'll zip through this pretty quick. Who can also help you? Don't be afraid. You should never, ever, 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 ever ask people to share in the ad itself or in your boost. You can do that on Twitter. You can say, please retweet, and people will retweet. If you say, please share, you will be penalized. You may get, of that 3 to 5% organic, you may get closer to the 3%. Because if you have to ask, then you're not producing really good content. That's how Facebook looks at this. But behind the scenes, let your employees know, hey, I've got this post running. I'm going to be boosting an ad on it. Would you mind sharing it on your timeline? Doris is here today. She has a vineyard in Elkton, Maryland area. If she rang me up and said, hey, Michelle, we're trying to promote this new wine we've got growing. Hey, would you mind sharing it on your timeline? Now, I can't share it on extensions page, but I'd be glad to share it on my timeline. I've got 350 friends, and most of them are in Newcastle County. They might go over there. So you want to network with your employees. Your employees are fantastic ambassadors, your family and your friends. My family and friends know more about cooperative extension than they probably care to. And you don't want to abuse this, but you definitely should not at all be afraid to ask people to help you out. Bloggers do it all the time. They link to each other's stuff. They have a blog roll, or here are the links, other links that I follow. So you do want to not be shy about doing that. Just don't do it in the post itself. Also, belong to local groups. So go into the groups and see what open groups are in your area. This will come in handy in a minute, and I'll show you why. Here, I'll let you read this later because I want to actually give you some time to actually go live and show you how to do that. So when is your audience online? So you need to know when they're going to be online. And when should I post? And when should we boost a post? These are important things. Yeah, I can't answer this until you know where your audience is. And in my case, this is a grid. It tells me here is when my fans are online. And look at this. Friday at 9 o'clock. Does anybody know why it would be Friday? And you're typing and I can't see it. But the reason is everybody's off work, they're kicking back, they've been to happy hour, they're coming home, they're hitting up on their phones. It is the peak time that our audience is online. It doesn't mean necessarily that they're on Facebook. Look at the worst one. Sunday night going into Monday. People shut down. They put their phones away. So if I was going to run an ad, would I start it on a Monday? No. I would start it maybe a 3-day ad. I'd start it Thursday and run it through to Saturday. Weekends are good because people, that's their downtime. But then they're also doing things and not looking at their phones, so there's two ways of looking at that. But everybody's is going to be different, so you need to know what your audience, when they're online. And when do you start your ad? So again, this I just said here, you don't want to start something on a Monday to Wednesday if most of your people are on a Friday. And what do you want to post? Short videos, definitely if you're going to do videos, if you have a lot to say, if you've got 3 minutes of content, do 10, 30-second videos. Don't do one big long one. You would be surprised the number of people who you look at a video, and I've done it where we've boosted a 3-minute video, and I go, oh my gosh, 1,300 people saw it. And then you look at the statistics. Yeah, and only 90 people stayed past 9 seconds. So a lot of people will look at the ad, look at the video, and if you don't capture them right away, you lose them. They drift off. So it's really important that your video content be punchy, to the point, and then get off. They're busy, they're flipping through with their phone, so you really want to be able to get right there with it, kick it, get your message out, make it fun. You also want to do videos that are videos or content that talk about you and your company values. So you could do content. It doesn't have to be a video. Meet Sydney. Sydney is my intern. Sydney is working on communications A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Meet Manuel. Manuel has been working at our farm for 18 years. He and his wife Magda are, great football fans, and they come, just kind of personalize them, tell stories about your business, tell stories that introduce your staff and your family. You can also informative content. What's the difference between sweet corn and field corn? Some people don't know that. A short lesson. How does this work? What's the health benefits of this particular food? What's the difference between what is this grape and how did we make this wine, or how do we come up with the flavors for our ice cream? This is the kind of stuff that humanizes you and the kind of stuff that people will respond to, and then you can use as an ad. Make sure your ads have a call to action, and this should be right smack in front. And in a lot of places, Facebook will give you a button where you can click on that button to visit the website. You want to use that to donate, to register. So you want to use call to actions. What do you want the viewer to do? You've got to spell it out for them. So be a part of us. Join us. Help us. Come see us. All right, so now this is a program. This is a photograph I took of a clematis, and we're using it for an open house. And I would be curious what you thought. I did 3 workups of this using an app called WordSwag, which you can get for Android and for iOS. It's $5.99. That's $5.99 one time. All the updates are free. It's the best little darn app I've ever used. I love it. It has all these really cool, fun overlays. So it's a basic photograph, and our open house is going to have a health theme. So we started out with Get Healthy with horticulture. We changed that to Gardens for Life. This ad is great for Twitter, up on the top right, because it has the title, it has the logo, and then it has the date and time of where it is and what time. But for Facebook, she has that, there is a 20% rule, and you can fudge it a little bit, but you don't want to put a whole lot of text and text across your image. Gardens for Life, Nature Really is the Best Medicine, is the perfect image for a Facebook promotion. We're actually going to do that. You also want to study what other pages are doing, and then also with the ad, look at the engagement. How many people liked that page? How many people commented? Look at the shares that that page has had. If a page has 10,000 followers, but only 5 people shared it, and there are only 10 likes or 10 comments, then that content failed as far as I'm concerned. Is it past that 3 to 5% threshold? Video is king. A couple programs that you might want to write down and keep are, it's called the Adobe line. If you have Adobe Creative Suites, then you have access to the premium version of this. But the free is good, and you can do it for $7.99 a month if you want the premium, and then drop it at any time. But Adobe Spark is for desktop. It actually helps you shape your videos and edit them and have them have a really cool, snappy look. And Spark Post is the app, and it allows for a simple animation to crawl across your image. So here's some other resources. Adobe Spark Post, Adobe Spark Video are very good, and then the WordSwag. And those are links that you can follow later. You want to focus on your staff, spotlight a volunteer, a special celebration or an anniversary, share your values, And posts with images receive 39% more interaction than posts that don't. What to do? Strong photographs, short videos. Provide an early hook. Give a call to action. Take them to the next step. Register or visit the website. In our case, it's usually one of those two for extension. You also want to make sure you tag people, and we talked about that at our last session. And you want to try different ads for different audiences. And also you want to check the Instagram box. You may not have an Instagram account, but if with Facebook owning Instagram, with a little check of a box, your ad will appear on Instagram feeds, and that's really terrific. Do not use flyers. I see people posting flyers up with a whole bunch of text. You're going to post them, that's fine. I don't even like that. I think flyers belong on a website. You should have a teaser image that tells people to go to the website where the flyer is for more information. You shouldn't be using them on Facebook. But try and boost one, they won't let you do it. They'll just reject the ad outright. Too much text in the actual post, long videos don't work. And please don't use copyrighted material. If you bought that song on iTunes for $1.29, it does not mean you can put it in your ad. It only means you can own it to listen to. It doesn't mean you can own it for an advertisement. And the same thing with images. Don't use copyrighted images, particularly if you're trying to make money on it. So someone will shut you down. So how? So let's go and look at Facebook. And I thought I'd just show you how I do it. So this is my Facebook page. Let me open this up. Are there any questions so far? Kim, are there any questions or comments before I continue?
Hey, Michelle, we had someone that asked about finding the statistics on times to post, but I know you shared a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'll do that now. So this is my news feed. And these are some of the pages I manage or am an administrator on. I'm tongue-tied this morning. So I'm going to go to Cooperative Extension. So when you go to your page, you'll go up to the top here where it says Settings. And then, oh, excuse me, Insights. I beg your pardon. You want to go to Insights. And you're going to see this column on the left. And so let's just take a look at the people who like your page. And it's being slow. But this is where you want to go. It's going to tell you how your videos are performing, how many people actually looked at the ad, liked your page as a result, how many people canceled not liking you because they're sick of your ads, so they've said, I've seen enough of these and I am so sorry, but it is not cooperating. Let's try something else. So here's posts. So here's an example. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you. We have, well, everything's 0. That's not right. So something is wrong. Let me refresh my page. There we go. Now it's looking better. So none of these, so this is one that was actually promoted. Okay, I must have been a coworker did that. But here, the Carvel Research, so this will tell you the post. It had 703 organic views, which is good. You always want organic. That means it just happened naturally. You can see the ones that don't do well. So when you see something that is organically doing well, a lot of good engagement, a lot of good organics, they will, the conventional wisdom is this might be something you might want to make an ad out of because it already had a little bit of traction on its own, so there's something good about that. So this is one thing that you want to look at, and you can keep going through the life of your, here's one. Now this one got 11,000 views, really good engagement. We did not boost that. And this was a video of a guy, just a selfie video. He didn't plan it. I can show it to you. He just talked about what he did. It will tell you here the number of people who watched it for 10 seconds. And I'm not sure if that's 10 seconds and beyond, or if they viewed 10 seconds and dropped off. I'd have to kind of, the average watch time though was only 15 seconds. So at some point he lost some people. But this one, if I wanted to see the metrics for this video, I guarantee you that, oh shoot, that particular video received, what is it? Let's see if it's in here. It's not going to be. Okay. The actual post. There we go. So now it's going to tell me who, there weren't any clicks. We didn't ask them to do anything. So this was not a paid thing. But there was one segment on here that showed me, it was a lot of men, because he was talking about precision ag, so it was tractors and all that kind of stuff. So you can get information on that. But I want to actually show you now how to do a boost. So we have a Master Gardener workshop coming up, and we had already created this event, but there's something wrong with this event right off the bat. Does anybody see what it is? There's a lot of text here. If you use events, the event is going to give you the date and the time built into the event profile. So I don't need to put that event on here. So I'm going to click on it. Oh, there it is. I want to edit that. So let me find edit. I just had it there. All right, I'm going to change the picture because I don't need to put the date and time because that's in the event part. So I'm just going to switch that out. I want the ad to perform a little better. So I'm going to go to my desktop. And I'm going to use that one instead. So it's going to upload. All right, that looks good. I'm going to save it. And now I'm going to boost it. Now I could, this is an event, so I'm boosting an event. So I'm going to, now the thing about events, which is tricky, is people who say they're interested, they'll get some information on it. But let me see here. I want to go back to I want to boost the event. There it is. Okay. Now I have a good amount of text here, and that's okay because I'm not going through the ads manager. The ad manager would just say probably just that one line with a link and not have all this. But we want that text in here. We're trying to attract a local audience. So this is okay. So this is the advantage of doing it through a boost. And then over here on the side, it's going to ask me, do you want to do a video instead? Now I don't have a video ready. So we're just going to go with the photograph. And I can do people through, I choose through targeting. I can do people who like our page. We currently have about 1,500 people that like our page. I can do people who like your page and their friends. So that could give me 5,000 or 6,000, 7,000 people. So I could do that. It's going to tell me down here, you could reach 66,000 people. So that's an exponential. It's all the people who like, for instance, I have 300 friends. So I would see that ad plus all 300 of my friends. So maybe you don't want all that because maybe there's people out in California that I'm friends with, and why would they want to see this? So that might not be the best choice for me. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, you know what? I want to create a new audience. And so I have to call this something, so I'm just going to say open house for Sussex County, for Sussex. And that doesn't appear anywhere. That's just for my knowledge. Okay, now who do I want? Do I want men and women? I want all. 18 to 65, I usually just say that's good, because there are young people that I would like to see that. And then it has me at Georgetown, so I can go on there and I can change that. So I can click on that. And it's giving me this circle. And actually that's not bad. I could change the radius down to, you know, I don't think people in Cape May are going to take the ferry over, so maybe I'll reduce that to, I'll do it this way, 35 miles. That's not bad. People from Maryland are going to possibly drive over. You know, I might want to attract Wilmington people too, but I would do that as a separate ad, because if I stretch this out to 100 miles, I'm going to capture a lot of Jersey and a lot of people on the DC side, and I don't want that. So I'm kind of happy with that. If you didn't want that, though, if I wanted Dover, I could just type in Dover, Delaware, or if you know the zip code, and then we'll put the point there. So you could drop the pin wherever you want it to be. I want it to be right there. Maybe a little left. I'll put it there instead. And I'll take this one out. Let's see. I don't want this one. Let's see, I want the Dover. I don't want the Dover one, so I want to take that one out. So there we go. It's a little bit west of where we're located right here. So I might want to up that to, say, 30 miles. Hit enter, and that's going to give me a pretty decent range for this ad. I'm really happy with that. I could actually go in here and add demographics. People, you know how Facebook is always asking you, what movies do you like? What activities are you involved with? It knows a lot about you. I could put in here 4-H gardening, and they'll have gardens. Gardening, botanical, I saw that. So I could type in things like that. Do I do this very often? Most of the time, this is what I do. I just want to capture everybody in my region. Now we're missing that little tail piece down there of Delaware. I actually might want to drop a pin there instead. Take that one out. Bring that one in to 30 miles. You can tweak it. That's the nice thing about it. All right, now that's pretty much got my whole region captured. And I'm going to hit save. Okay, how much do I want to spend? I'm going to go with 20, just for the heck of it. If we had 66,000 people come to this open house, I would be shocked. All right, so, and how long do I want it to run? I don't want it to run up into the day. I might want it to run, so you can pick 1 day, 7 days, 14, or you could pick something in between. So let's just say I want to run this particular ad through to and including the 9th. So it's going to be from now until the 9th. It's going to charge out at $1.66 a day. I could decide to do this real intensely and run it just now through the 4th of July weekend when I know people are going to be off, but let's see here. Okay, July 5th. So I'm going to run it for 8 days, $2.50. So I'm spending that $20 over 8 days. So you can pack a punch and just do a blitz over 2 or 3 days, or you can do it for a week. Or maybe even 7 days is better, so I'll do 7 days. All right, and that'll end on July 4th, and then I just go ahead and boost it. And it will we've received your order, we're going to take a look at it. I've had many rejected because there was too much text. It will reject flyers. So it's going to tell me it's going to be billed. I can go back in. Oh my God, there's a typo, something like that. I can go into my home and I can go into my ads manager. And this is where you would get your billing. I will tell you that it bills kind of crazy. If you've got 2 or 3 ads running at the same time, it mixes them up. It doesn't give you a nice clean bill for $20. It bills like, you'll get a bill for $1.33, and then you'll get a bill for $4.71, and then you'll get another crazy bill. So it bills funny. You can pay for it all at once if you want to. But this is where you could go in and decide, you know what, I don't think I want to do that. I want to cancel it. I want to change something up. I want to delete it, so forth and so on. So that's normally how I do it. I also wanted to show you some examples of some ads that people have done. So I have some saved ones here. So here's one. That's a local farmer, and it's just a really good photograph of sweet corn saying, hey, it's going to be here. Come visit us. Pretty good call to action. And so far they've got 37 people have engaged with it. Now what I would have done possibly is ask people, how do you cook your sweet corn? There would be a question there that would make people write a comment. What's your favorite way of preparing corn? That could be part of the ad because it's going to get people to share it. Because the minute I make a comment and I say, oh my gosh, that looks so good, I can't wait. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. And I enter that. Now, all my friends have seen that I've responded to Evans Farm. So this is now organic. This is an ad that they've done. They haven't paid for this. It's not sponsored. So you can get a lot. There's 4,000 people like this page. But look at how many people have responded. Only 37 out of that 4,000. So this is the problem. Had I looked at this in my news feed and went, oh, that looks good, and kept going, and I like most people do, you're flipping through, Facebook looks at me and says, oh, Michelle really, she's liked the page, but she doesn't interact. By what I did right there, typing that, I've told Facebook, I want to see more things from Evans Farm. But this is the problem, and then this is why you have to boost, because if you're not putting content up that people engage with, Facebook will say, well, they haven't engaged with it. Doris Benke didn't say anything. Doris Benke didn't like it. She didn't comment. She didn't share it. She's really not that interested in this kind of content. We're going to show her less of it, even though Doris has liked the page. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the problem. And people go, oh, well, it used to be 10 years, 5 years ago even. You had something on Facebook. All your fans saw it. It's not happening anymore. So this is why somebody like Evans Farm needs to look and say, okay, how come out of 4,000 people, only 1% has seen this? Less than 1%. That's a problem. So they're not reaching who they think they're reaching. So this might be something that they might boost for $5, and then people would see that ad and they would share it. Evans Farm could call me up. They could call people in their neighborhood. They could call the people that are working for them and say, would you please share this on your timeline? People will share it. So you want to look at who are the people that are sharing. And you might want to go back and say, hey, thanks for doing that. So that's one example. This is another.
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah.
We have 2 questions. One is it better to make an event versus just posting? And the other is show how you found the ads manager again.
Okay. Events.
Thank you.
All right, events versus posts. I do both. So, for instance, let's go back to the Master Gardener one. Even before I would have boosted it, because right now it's an ad, but it's, let's see, so let me go back to the cooperative extension. I do both. Events to me are a little tricky because people think, you know, when they click on it, do they think they're registering because they have this interested in going? And then how many people have actually seen this? It asks me to share so if I go in here and invite friends, these are my personal friends pop up, okay? It doesn't allow me to share to the people who like my page. So I will turn around and share this as a post. So it is an event. But now I might come in as a post and just say, and I don't have to say a lot because I've already said it in the event, but I might just say, mark your calendars. So much new. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. New to, because people who've been here before might go, oh, I've been to that garden. We change it up every year. So we have so much new to show you this year in the garden. All right, very basic. And sharing it on my timeline. I actually want to share it on the page I manage, so the actual extension page. And I'm going to find that and like it. And there we go, and post it. So now it is on Cooperative Extensions page as a post and as an event. I usually do both. As far as, and then the whole thing with tickets, like this is free, so I can't put a link in it. So sometimes I could go back now to that post, actually. Let me go here. I'm going to just pull up that extension.udel.edu. I'm going to pull the actual event page in. Okay, it's right here. This is the actual page. I'm going to copy that. Go back to my, oh my goodness, okay. Go back to my extension page that I just shared it as, so it's on here now twice. I hope I'm not going too fast. So there's upcoming events, that's fine. I want to go to the post I just shared. Yeah, this one, mark your calendar. So now that's a post. I'm going to go and edit that and say more information. All right, that's kind of, I might say, get all the details here and put that link in. I want people to go to the website. I haven't gone in here and said, we're doing this, and we're doing that, and we're doing this, and we're doing that. That would be a tedious post and a tedious ad. I am trying to get people to click on the link to get more information. So a strong image, short message, drive them to the website. That's my goal. And then the website will get them to, they don't have to register, they just show up. It's an open house. Getting back to the ad manager, you go to your home. Once you're a manager of a page, you will have, it's right here. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to show you, groups. Go to your, and I know Doris is here and she lives in Elkton. So you might go to look for groups. You want to search groups, okay, and you want to discover. She should look for groups. So it's suggesting things to me. You want to go on and look for something maybe in Elkton. Let me just try Elkton. Might be the Elkton garden club might have a page, group rather, ELKTO, Elton, Maryland. See all results, and I'm looking for groups. All right, so here's a group called the Elk with 2,000 members, Elkin Online. There's a whole bunch of them. If I were Doris, my advice to Doris would be to join as many of these as possible. Then, when she posts on her, whether she pays for it or not, when she goes to her page and posts a page, hey, we have a new vintage that's come in, or something like that, or we have a special on this particular wine. You can go to your page. So here, I could go to this boost, sorry, I can't talk today, this post, and I'm going to share it. Now, I don't want to really share to either one. I want to share to a group, but hit share to a page, and then go up to this arrow, and it'll say share in a group. Now, if there's a group called Delaware Gardeners, or maybe there's 4 or 5 different gardening clubs that all have groups, and I know they do, I could put that in here. Plantation Lakes is but guess what? I'm not a member of that group, so nothing's coming up. You have to be a member of the group. So you want to be a member of the group in your local community. That's where your audiences is. And then you can simply, once you're a member of the group, don't over-abuse it, because if they see you in there just spamming it for ads, but join local groups, and then you can share some of your boosts, your content to them. Again, that's completely free. It's just a matter of you joining the group. There may be group rules against that, but that would be something that Cooperative Extension would have to go in and join some groups, and then they could directly share their content to that group. The other thing you want to do that's really, really important, and this is an completely free way to promote your page, is to be a part of your community as your page. So, for instance, everybody should know what Cooperative Extension is. We teach about diabetes, we teach about farming, we teach about youth, we teach about health. Go into, say, your local paper. So in my case, it would be Delaware Online, which is the news journal. And here's an example. So I'm going to go to Delaware Online. They have 139,000 followers. People read comments. They read, in the old days with journalism, people read funnies, they read obituaries, they read letters to the editor. Online, people read comments. So, okay, I want to find like a positive story. So I'm going to look at, I want to follow the news journal. Okay, all right, so here we are. I'm going to look at their posts. And let's just say this was an article about diabetes. It has nothing to do with Cooperative Extension. But I can go down here, I'm Michelle Wofford right now. I can go in here and change me to my page. Women in Ag. There's Women in Ag can do this. I gotta find Cooperative Extension. And there it is. I don't know why the logo's not showing up. Well, let's just say let me go to UD. There it is. And I could just simply say, thank you for spotlighting this important Now I'm not going to send that because it's about memory loss, but some extension work is with memory loss. If this was an article about Michelle Wofford, who's gotten Teacher of the Year, or maybe Doris Benke has gotten voted, you know, Wine Vineyard of the Year or something like that, you can go in there it has nothing to do with extension, but there's nothing wrong with saying, congratulations, Margaret, for you do important work. Way to go. You know, Cape Henlopen lacrosse wins the state champs. There's nothing wrong with you going on there and saying, hey, congratulations. Way to go. You know, so glad you guys look like you had a lot of fun. And what that does is that puts your page visible to people. People go, oh, who's that? Who's Lester Kirby? Why couldn't extension be there? Why couldn't your business be there? Just being nice. Just saying, good job. Way to go. Congratulations. Crazy drinks. I would have to find something appropriate for extension to post, because we aren't, you know, we're unbiased and all of that. But if this was an article about nutrition, and News Journal does those type of things, that's where I would go on and say, you know, thank you for writing this article. This is important. And by the way, we help out with that sort of thing. So that's the kind of thing that people aren't doing enough about, are not doing enough, and it's a very simple thing of just dropping down. This is much easier to do, by the way, on a desktop than with phones. Phones allow it sometimes, and I know iPads don't. So you have to be careful. So this might be something you do from a computer. Any other questions? I don't know where we are with time. We're a little over.
That was wonderful, Michelle. I don't know if anyone else has questions that they want to type in the chat box. We can keep this running for a little bit. I will end the recording shortly.
Yeah.
But folks may want to ask for some additional questions.
The main thing is to be a good person in your community. If you are sharing, I'll tell you, I took a leadership program with Lead Delaware, and we had a meeting with Sam Calgione, who is the owner of Dogfish Head. And one of the people said, does it upset you that all these local breweries are popping up? And he went, absolutely not. We're all a member of a guild. We created a guild, and we celebrate them. And so it's kind of like that. There's this an old-fashioned movie. I think it might have been Miracle on 34th Street, where somebody goes in and once goes into Macy's and says, do you have this? And Macy's says, no, we don't, but our friend Gimbel down the street, Gimbel's isn't around anymore, so you younger people wouldn't even know what I'm talking about. But it would be, you know, Vanderwins and Hopkins and UDairy are in a contest, and Vanderwins comes up on top. You know, it's great for Hopkins to say, congratulations to our friend and fellow creamery, Vanderwind. What a great job, you know. You need to do that type, and my intern here actually works for them and said that actually happened. Be a part of the community. Shout out other people with your page. Comment on other things going around in your community. That makes you visible. It makes you it puts you front and center of what's going on. And I would stay away from controversy in every instance. But that's something that people, and it's free. It's just a matter of getting on there and, hey, I want to share. We share University of Maryland extension links all the time. We share stuff from Penn State. I mean, if they can do it better and they've done it better, we're all extension. We're all part of trying to raise awareness. It's not about like, oh, well, I'm going to go do my own thing, even though I'm not going to rip them off. That's how we do it. You've got a livestock expert who has a great small ruminants page. We share her stuff all the time. And that's what Mid-Atlantic, look at Mid-Atlantic Women in Ag. It's a conglomeration of all of the extension offices. So that's the kind of thing that probably isn't being done enough, but it's a key to success is being part of the community and engaging with other people. And I don't know if there's any other questions. Be glad to answer them. And again, if you need me to, now I don't even know how to get out of here. To minimize, oh, there it is. Okay, minimize my screen. I'll stop sharing. If there's any questions that you have now, and if you didn't, you could call and ask me and say, I'm not the most articulate presenter, but I'll work one-on-one and say, oh my gosh, you should be doing this, or how about trying this? This would be awesome. And you may want to do micro targets and say, well, I just want to do something that's going to go after teenagers. Is your community, what's the demographics of your community? Here in Sussex County, we're about 20% Hispanic. Are we putting out Spanish ads? We aren't. We should be. I mean, Facebook has translations, but don't overlook being, trying to reach everybody and possibly, you doing some direct in a Spanish language or having someone speaking Spanish in an ad, a short ad. Just saying, hey, we're here to help you. If you want to start a garden, come see us, this is what we do, or join 4-H, or whatever it is that you're interested in. That's, be aware of who you want to be in your audience, and then you can try strategic ways of so like that Master Gardener ad, there may be people who will drive from Wilmington to see that garden. It's only 75 miles. So I might do another ad that might say something like, we're only an hour and a half away, come see us. So that would target Wilmington and try to get those people to come down and check out our garden. So that's what I mean by kind of breaking it down a little bit and trying different things, spending $10 here, $10 there on an ad. And if you're looking for a national audience, and if you've got a gadget, you're trying to sell keychains, and you want everybody to see them, then you don't want to boost a post. You want to go through the ads manager and the ad creator, and they'll help you create something that would, buy this product, visit my website for that product. That's why they advise not boosting the post.
I know I've used the Ads Manager before, and I found it to be helpful because, they ask you some questions that you may not think about. So from that standpoint, it can be helpful.
And on that presentation, there's a link to the whole, Facebook has a whole layout of things that they suggest. There was another, I saw another ad, I've not shared my screen anymore, but let me see if I can do this. Yeah, so now I'm sharing my screen again. There's this ad here. I look at ads that are sponsored, like that's a video, that's not a sponsored one. Here's a sponsored ad. And ads like this can be made very easily in Adobe Spark. Short, so it's 15 seconds. Look at your commercials on television. They're not blah, blah, blah for 30 minutes. I mean, you can't. They're 15 seconds, they're 30 seconds long, a 30-second spot. A minute tops for an ad, but you want to go short and just make it visually stunning. Try to make it colorful. This has gotten 6,000 views, 1,300 shares, a lot of comments. Of course, it's a national brand, and Starbucks is going to have it easy. So is Oreos. They have a built-in audience anyway. But you can learn from the pros what they do and kind of mimic them. I mean, I can't do exactly that, but I could come close to something like that. Adobe Spark, by the way, is pretty cool. You can do these things called, so like this was a field day, an ad. So instead of just having it be a straight ad, I usually do this on my phone, but there's a way, in other words, this text swept in. So you can, here we go, layout, resize design. it would allow you to, and I have to do it on my phone, but in other words, this was animated. I wish I could play it, but it was animated. And I was able to put it on Facebook, and that Poultry Growers Field Day just kind of like dropped in, and is sponsored by DE Maryland Cooperative Extension slid in from the left. And on Facebook, that's enough to grab attention. So it's a really cool way to do that. You can add logos, and this is free. You can do a lot of this for free. So it's worth, and you can change the color scheme. And they give you layouts that you can kind of copy. But I wish I could play it. I don't know how to do it on the desktop. But it's worth it to check into how to do this. It's pretty cool.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle. This has been awesome. Really appreciate your time and expertise as always. I don't know if you had any final parting words, and if not, we're just going to go ahead and cut the recording. And if we still have some participants lingering, if they want to ask you some additional questions, we can allow them to stay on, but maybe we'll go ahead and officially end the webinar piece after your final thoughts.
That would be it. Just go out there and experiment. Again, you can just try posting videos and posts and events without spending any money, and check the stats, check how they performed, who was looking at them, who was interacting with them. If you see something doing better than normal, that might be a tip-off. That would be worth possibly boosting. And you can boost for $5 for 2 days, and you'll be surprised what you see. And so I would say experiment a little bit with that. And then there's my email address. If anybody wants to get a hold of me to figure out if they'd like another pair of eyes on, I'd be glad to take a look at what you're thinking about cooking up and offer my viewpoint for what it's worth. Well, otherwise, that's it. I don't know if there's any. You're welcome. Thank you, Tana.
Hey, Michelle, sorry, my internet disconnected there for a minute. So.
Oh, that's okay.
We have a couple more questions and comments in the chat area.